Yes, this is not a clickbait title. YouTube gave me $20,000 to make any video that I wanted. And I'm gonna explain it a little bit.
So yes, YouTube did pay me $20,000, but I'm gonna explain this project a little bit more in depth because there's more to it than I just got money from YouTube and I went and shot anything I wanted. So just let me give you a little background on how this all came about. I've been wanting to shoot a documentary for the last couple of years, put together a pitch deck, I put together a promo reel, I've been trying to get some funding to make it happen. None of it really happened. So instead of just doing a full-length feature documentary, I thought, hey, I'll break this down into bite-sized chunks for my YouTube channel, pair it with some other videos, get some sponsors on board, and that's kind of where I landed when this opportunity came knocking on my door with YouTube.
So I'm currently at Bee's Elephant Sanctuary in Thailand. It's a lot of work here. We're tending for the elephants as well as just doing lots of hiking, working, all of that good stuff.
Have you ever heard of that idea of the tap on the shoulder? So this whole project was kind of that tap on the shoulder for me. What that means is that you are ready and you're willing when the opportunity comes up to jump on whatever it is that has just fallen into your lap. So I've been trying to make this documentary project work, and the biggest struggle has just been like, what am I gonna do with this? How am I gonna get people to see this? How does it fit my channel? And when I landed on this idea of getting sponsors involved to help fund these kind of projects, I need some sort of sample that shows how this works, because companies want to be reassured that their money is going into the right places. And so I saw this tweet from YouTube, and it was about this VR creator lab. And what that is they give $20,000 to creators to create a series of films. It's 4 films, they don't have to connect, but it's all in virtual reality. And for me, I was like, I could take my documentary series, do this VR creator lab, have the funding, and be able to use this as a project to launch off this idea of doing this kind of documentary series on my channel. Now, it's all good in theory, but actually putting that in practice and making this a success has been kind of a larger undertaking. So let's go back to Thailand and let me explain what I was trying to do with this series.
What I'm doing is showing how creators can have an impact with the videos that we're creating, and how social media is now sculpting the way that we interact with different places. I'm here in Thailand because I'm covering a story about elephant tourism, and part 3 is about how we are making a positive impact in this world.
So I definitely think film 3 does hit on this idea. However, this documentary became more than just about how influencers can make a positive change. When you're actually out shooting this kind of content, the stories actually come out of what you're doing.
It's all up in the air right now. Really don't know what we're walking into in terms of how much access, what we're gonna be shooting. There's always that sense of like, you have an idea of what you're gonna shoot, but when you're actually out shooting it, everything completely changes.
So one of the biggest challenges with VR 180 is in the edit. And it's not that the editing is tough. It's actually fairly straightforward to edit because there's not a lot of cuts. The struggle comes in, how do you make it engaging? How do you make an audience respond to the video and actually feel something from the video? Because you can't really use your editing to show emotion. You have to use other elements in the filmmaking toolkit. So for me, I found that the music was where I was able to pull that emotional element out of these videos. Watching them without music and then turning the music on, it's a completely different experience. So for this project, I've teamed up with Soundstripe. They're a music licensing service, and I've been able to find a ton of awesome music on their site. In each of the VR films, you're gonna hear exclusively Soundstripe music, but also And all of these behind the scene pieces and all the videos I've been creating on my channel for the last couple months has all been from Soundstripe. Now there's a few reasons that I like using their service. It's super easy to use, like you can find the music quick. They make it super affordable, so it's a single fee and you get access to everything. And in each of these films, the music has become the driving force to really pull that emotional quality out of it and connect you more with the stories that I'm trying to tell. So you're gonna see in a second here, I'm gonna switch the music up and I'm gonna change gears, and you're gonna see how much of a different impact that has with the segment of this specific video that you're seeing. So guys, if you're looking for music for your videos, I highly suggest Soundstripe. I'm gonna put a link down below in the description where you guys can find out more information about them. But let's get back into VR 180. So let's talk about gear for a second, because one of my biggest issues with this project has been dealing with the gear.
This is the camera. I am just trying to get all the equipment to work and like make everything function properly. You know, it's just not easy to use. And yeah, this is how I have to carry this camera, just in case we come across anything interesting. I got my wizard staff. It'll look cool if I can get a good spot. I'm a little bit tired, so I'm trying to make things work, and I feel like I'm not making it work, and I feel like I'm gonna scrap it all, but we'll see. It's got two lenses on it. It creates a 180 half sphere. So VR 180 is basically half the sphere. So you can't see what's behind you, but you can see what's in front of you. So you have to use a monopod because you don't want to have the tripod legs. Even this, as you can see down there, you can see the tips of the feet in the shot because it's a 180 half globe. So I've built this system where I can pop this on pretty quick and easy. I use these, Jeven quick releases here, and I've got this setup where the camera actually sticks out away from the plate, and it can all fit in my backpack super easy. Who builds a camera with a power port on the bottom like this? Like, what do you attach that to? It's ridiculous. Oh, and there's no power on button, it just starts.
Now, beyond working with these limiting cameras, one of the hardest things for me just to wrap my head around was this idea of shooting in like a theater setting. So all of my takes had to be dead on for the entirety of the take. There's no cutting. You'll see in these films, like I had to do all of these takes all the way through. And when I was out shooting, I would do like 20 takes of some of these shots just because I would fumble one word or I'd say something a little wrong. You start getting your head. When there's no cutting, it's a massive challenge. And it's one of those things that I just wasn't really thinking of going into this.
When you have a film that is shot properly in this format, you are transferred from your living room or wherever you're watching to that location. And when you add in these different elements that VR 180 is built with, you basically feel like you're there, and you really have this sense of the space and the scale and everything that's involved in it. But it is a new frontier. It makes you feel like that you're not necessarily watching a film, but you are a part of the film.
This is a grant program from YouTube. So there was multiple stages of getting my videos approved. I had to first go through a technical review, which is where the team of mentors actually watched all the films and gave technical feedback. And then there was legal clearance. So YouTube actually had to go through all these films and legally clear them so that I can put them on my channel. Now, I started this project like 3 months ago, and everything just got approved. So tomorrow I'm gonna be releasing film 1, and I decided with this first film to just dive into what is VR 180 in VR 180. So for me, this has been a massive undertaking, a massive challenge with a lot of layers. But I am super proud of the films that I was able to create, and I think there's some really powerful messages within these videos. And going into 2020, I definitely have a different way of thinking about how to integrate different styles of videos onto my channel. I love doing the tutorials, I love doing the YouTube training, but that's not everything that I want to do on this channel. I have some different dreams and hopes and wishes, and I hope you guys are willing to come along on this journey, and I definitely want to just create some stories that could have a bigger impact in the world. So for me, this is a jumping off point. It is a way for me to test some ideas and actually have YouTube fund those ideas. And so if you have a VR headset, I highly suggest watching all 4 of these VR films in the virtual reality with headphones, because it's going to make a huge difference. And if you don't have a VR headset, you can still watch these films using your phone or your computer. You can scroll around and actually look around. Now, these films aren't exactly what I set out to create, but I think you're going to enjoy the experience. So make sure those notifications are turned on, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, because you're not going to want to miss any of these videos. Alright guys, that is it. See you on the next one.